pick six, particularly what you may have seen or not seen there?
Yeah, we had game planned something, we were trying to get it, and just made a bad decision.
Why do you think it's, I guess, looked this stagnant on offense the last couple of weeks?
Well, today, I mean, it was just turnovers mostly. There was times where we could kind of get going, and then we turned the ball over. So.
No, I mean, what was that? Were they bad decisions on your part? Do you think generally, or I guess there was one that was an overthrow, or just
No, I think
what do
the
you
first
think?
one was a bad decision, and after that, no. But stuff happens sometimes. Maybe a bad throw. I'd like to see it. A couple of those things, but the first one was an awful decision. Yep.
On the fourth down play, you kind of held that ball for a while. Just did you not get, I guess, the defense you were expecting, or what kind of went into that?
No, yeah. They did a good job covering everything up and then kind of passing things off, and it's went through the progression and then kind of tried to buy some time and just didn't work out.
Joe, how do you turn the tide offensively moving forward after the past two games?
Well, it's tough. I mean, the toughest thing about not playing well is just your mentality, and having to deal with, stand tall and deal with the fact that you're not playing well. And the best way to do that is just go back to work. We have the ability to do what we want. We're just making too many mistakes. And when you do get into a little rut like this, then yeah, it can be tough mentally. But you got to just do all you can to kind of put that aside and go do your job.
Joe, you've been in it a long time, and when quarterbacks struggle sometimes, I mean, they change quarterbacks. Were you surprised second half they didn't go to Anthony, or was that never in your mind? You never let that
No, I'm just out there playing, and that's my job on Sundays is to just go out there and play and continue to be optimistic that we can make the most of this, make the most of the chance. I mean, look, our defense kept us in that game for most of the day. They got some turnovers themselves, and most of the time there it was, within a one score, within a two-score game. So,
Joe, when there were some boos from the Luxor crowd, you've obviously been around long enough to hear some stuff. But what's your reaction when the crowd?
Yeah, listen, this is a humbling game. This league is tough. You're going to have to deal with, things like that from time to time. It's unfortunate. You don't want to put yourself in that situation, but, we can only look at ourselves. I can only look at myself in terms of why that's happening, and, it is what it is.
Joe, Shane shows some faith in you, obviously making this change, and it's a big decision. You feel pressure to come through, I'm sure. If you fall a little short, do you feel like that puts him in a tough spot at all, or is that something you just don't have to think about?
Listen, I don't think we're thinking about putting each other in, putting anybody in that locker room is thinking about putting each other in tough spots. You do want to go out there and play well for all of those guys in that locker room and all the coaches and everything like that. I think everybody wants to do that every week. That's what we're out there doing, is playing for the guy next to us. So, when you're not able to come through on that, it doesn't feel, it's a bad feeling. That's part of it, is being able to put that weight on your shoulders and deal with it, as uncomfortable as it may be. It can be tough to look guys in the eyes and do all those things, but you have to be able to do it in tough times.
As a starting quarterback, how do you, I guess, give them faith or hope or whatever going forward after a couple performances like this?
Yeah, well, you eventually have to turn it and go out there and play well. And like I said earlier, the only way you can do that is keep your head up, high and go out there and attack the week just like you have been doing, and don't change, don't blink. And throughout the week, that may not be enough, but eventually, like I said, you have to go out there and you have to play well and prove that we can, play well enough to win football games.
AD had the best game of his career. How did you guys use him more this game as opposed to all the other games?
I think he probably had a lot more snaps and, was in position to kind of, come up big when he needed to, and he did a good job. He looked comfortable out there, caught the ball well. Did a lot of good things. So it's unfortunate that it comes in a game like this where you can't feel as good about it as you want to, but he did a great job.
Throughout your career, has there been any common things you've leaned into to kind of get out of these ruts?
Whew. Listen, there's obviously times where I've gone through it, and, teams go through it. And like I said, I think the work week is set up so that you can kind of get it out of your system early on in the week. And then you kind of have to weather the storm. You know, there's going to be that little thought in the back of all of our heads, you know, until we get to play again, kind of similar to how it was this week. And you just have to go to work and immerse yourself in that and distract yourself from all the outside noise by just putting your head down and doing what you know how to do.